Hello everyone. Before we get too carried away with how amazing blockchain is, let's be real, it's not perfect. Every technology that exists has its own trade-offs and blockchain is no exception. So right now we'll be discussing about the blockchain challenges, taking them one on one. Starting with lack of speed, that's a technological challenge. Let's talk about one of the most, pressing issues in blockchain adoption, and that is speed. Okay, let's think about this. You're using Google Pay or a credit card, your payment is confirmed within seconds. Imagine if that same payment is taking you 2 hours or worse, 2 days. How would you feel about it? Would you be ready to adopt it? And that actually is the reality in some blockchain networks. For example, during the 2017 crypto boom, Bitcoin transactions sometimes took up to 3 days to confirm unless users were willing to skip out the queue. And that skipping out the queue means you were actually agreeing to pay $30 or maybe $40 just to send $10 at that time, $10 worth of Bitcoin. That doesn't sound practical, right? And why does this happen? Because as the users increase, as the users joining in increase, the network gets congested. The system is very secure, you know this, right? All thanks to complex encryption, but the same security, the same encryption policies make it slower. This slowness is okay if you're sending millions of dollars across countries, you're willing to wait for a few hours because you're getting unmatched transparency, you're getting unmatched privacy security. But for small everyday payments like buying coffee maybe, speed becomes a deal breaker. And this is why many experts believe that solving the speed problem will decide how widely, blockchain will get adopted or something. And without fixing it, blockchain could remain a niche technology used only where time isn't a crucial factor, right? Because of the speed, there are costs increasing. And whenever you have to adopt a technology, you go for or you prefer something that is fast, that is cost effective, right? Let's come to the next one. And then the second big technological challenge is high energy consumption. In proof of work blockchains like Bitcoin, every miner competes, right? To solve the complex mathematical puzzles, and this mining actually consumes massive amounts of electricity. Now, if you ask me how massive, I can tell you that it takes in more energy annually than the entire countries like Argentina or Netherlands do. And if we have to talk about the carbon footprint, that's like running millions of refrigerators all year long. Now, why so much energy? Because proof of work's security comes from computational difficulty. The harder the puzzle, the harder would be for the attacker to attack the system. What is the problem then? Because all miners in the network are doing the same puzzle simultaneously and only one will win, right? But if only one is winning, then all the others who are midway through the problem have wasted their energy, right? Okay. Then coming to the third technological challenge that goes with lack of privacy and data confidentiality. So, the lack of privacy is the third technological challenge, or how the blockchain is actually going to handle the sensitive information. Most public blockchains, that the transactions are transparent. Anyone can view the involved wallet addresses, amounts transferred, timestamps. Well, this some people consider this great for trust and auditability. It can be problematic while I'm dealing with private or regulated data. So let's imagine a hospital using blockchain to store medical records. If the records themselves were stored directly on chain, anyone can see them. Even if patient names are replaced with IDs, you can use advanced analytics to actually get the information. If I tell you, okay, so and so locality, so and so height, and so weighted person has so and so disease. You go to this so and so locality, you see there are 10 houses. 10 houses, 10 males. We're just taking an example. 10 houses, 10 males, and only 3 of them fall in this and this to this age criteria, and only one has that weight. Won't it be very easy to find that person, to trace back to that person whose medical record is actually on the blockchain? And this is what has happened. because the data is immutable. Once it is there forever. Mistakes or leaks can't be deleted. Linkability, even without names, advanced analytics can link addresses to real people. Compliance conflicts. Laws like GDPR require that people can request deletion of personal data, but here you cannot delete personal data once it's there. If I talk about the real world incident in 2018, researchers discovered that someone had actually embedded illegal images into the Bitcoin blockchain. And what about those images? They could never be removed. And yeah, it raises legal, ethical issues. All the issues are raised together. Then coming to lack of standardization. Our fourth technological challenge is lack of standardization, and this is a huge barrier to blockchain's widespread adoption. Right now, blockchain is still in a phase where it is building up, where people are still starting to adopt it. And it's still like the early days of the internet, before we had any standardized protocols like HTTP and TCP/IP governing the transactions. So every blockchain platform right now, let it be it Bitcoin, be it Ethereum, be it Hyperledger, be it Solana, be it Cardano, they have their own consensus mechanisms. They have their own transaction format, own APIs, developer tools, smart contract language. But what is the problem? The problem is it's hard for blockchain 1 to speak to blockchain 2 to exchange data. We have low interoperability, and this is the next technological challenge that I'll be covering in this slide as well. So, developers they face steep learning curves when moving between the platforms because they're entirely different. And in a way, they're reinventing the wheel. And businesses actually risk vendor lock-in because if they build for one platform, they have to keep it locked to this vendor. This will not be able to switch to another, right? Because without standards, if you build multi-chain apps, it is expensive, it is complex, and it is in a way going to slow innovation because now teams are going to spend more time reinventing the wheel instead of creating new solutions, right? Lack of interoperability, as I told you in the last slide, these two are going to be, are about the same things. Because as more organizations they begin adopting blockchain, there is a tendency for many of them to develop their own systems. And they have varying characteristics, the versions, the consensus, the models, everything. And these separate blockchains find it difficult to communicate with each other because there is no universal standard that they have to adopt by. And interoperability includes the ability to share CSS information across different blockchain networks. But we do not have any interoperability standards right now. And this lack of interoperability, makes mass adoption almost impossible. It's because you cannot resource the people. If somebody is working on Hyperledger, you cannot expect them to work at the same pace on Bitcoin because they know some different standards, they know different consensus models, they know different versions. That's it. Then coming to the regulatory challenges, this isn't a technical challenge, it's legal. So, if you're talking about the regulatory challenges, they're one of the main reasons many blockchain projects never reach their full potential. Right now, blockchain is borderless, right? And if we have unclear legal status, like in some countries, something is considered legal, while in some countries it's banned outright, right? You consider cryptocurrency as assets in one, and in another you ban it. This is going to have an unclear legal status. Then you have taxation ambiguity in some. Is crypto even an income? Is it capital gains? Is it taxable? And the answer is going to vary by jurisdiction. Compliance with KYCs, compliance with AMLs, anti money laundering requirements, cross border regulations, sending tokens from India to the US. You're dealing with two entirely different legal systems. And this is how it is going to, actually affect you. And why is this going to matter? Because businesses need legal clarity before investing millions, and lack of regulation can slow adoption. Governments should come in, should take a step and create clear, consistent frameworks for blockchains operating across the borders. There should be self regulatory bodies within the blockchain industry to establish the best practices forward. We need, at this point of time, we need international collaborations, we need international corporations, cross border blockchain laws. Coming to the criminal activities, There's the anonymous feature of the blockchain technology that makes it a greater threat. The nature of the blockchain network we know is decentralized, right? Nobody can actually know your true identity. Being anonymous is convenient for, is very much convenient, actually, I'd say, for illegal transactions. Consider there's a glass bank, right? Everything can be seen from outside. All you know is transfer is being made from A locker to B locker. You don't know the real, you don't know the real person behind A locker. You don't know the real person behind B locker. And if somebody is looking for a way to launder out the money, if somebody is actually looking out a way to, make replicates, because what they'll do to transfer from A to B, they'll transfer A to C, C to F, F to G, G to H. They will consider false transactions in between so that traceability becomes hard. The only time you can trace it well is when somebody is trying to convert crypto into money, into real money, right? And that is when you want KYC and you want everything, and that is when you want real identity. But inside the glass wall, all the transactions, you cannot trace them well, because you will have millions and millions, millions and zillions of actual transactions that would be going in, in anonymous way or in pseudo way, actually. Coming to lack of adequate skill sets, the skill set gap is actually a top challenge, and this is where many of the people are coming forward, taking the initiatives to educate people about the blockchain. One such initiative is going to be this. I hope it proves to be so. The marketplace for blockchain skills and qualified people to manage blockchain technology is highly competitive. The demand for qualified staff is enormous. Actually, you're going to have huge job market. You'd actually have the job market huge at this time, but only few people have the adequate skills to support such technology. And so one has to pay up high salaries, actually very high salaries. This is considered to be an elite tech right now. The expense and difficulty of talent acquisition in this area only adds up to the concerns that organizations have. So if somebody has to pay a lot for one skill set, and that too when the bucket of those people who know the technology are like 5 to 6, so you have to pay them higher. So that is what is creating an adoption barrier. Coming to the last one, lack of awareness. Through broader awareness of the technology is growing, people are coming forward in taking initiatives to make this accessible to all technology. But the majority of organizations are still in their early stages of adoption. As you can see on the slide, only 12% of participants in a recent survey reported that they are living with either blockchain or blockchain as a service, while 34% of the respondents are not even exploring the use of it. But also, the majority of the public is still not aware of the existence and potential use, right? Because there is a lack of proper marketing of this technology. There is a lack of people coming forward and taking up initiatives in this technology. Though I would say many initiatives have built up in the recent years, but still there's a lot to do when it comes to this technology. So yeah, with this, I'm getting this to the end of the video. In the next video, we'll be talking about the scalability trilemma, right? The blockchain trilemma, actually, where you'll see scalability as a huge issue. I'll be covering scalability as a technological challenge in the next video. And yeah, if you have any concerns, you want me to take any subjects or topics next after this, or you want me to take any concepts in between, smaller concepts, please fill in the Google Forms. You can see them in the description below. And if anything, yeah, you can reach out through the Google Forms, you can reach out through the comment section. Thank you so much. Bye bye.